Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Ooh, I can't even click my fingers in beat. I probably should have put this on my standy thing. But I said I was going to hold it because I wasn't holding the guitar, so I thought I'd hold this. But how are you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah! Woo! So today is a pretty amazing day. I don't know why, it's just because it is. I've decided that it is, and so therefore it is. Hey, welcome to the Church of RNK. This is Rosemary Nonny Knight. How are you doing? Isn't it time? Isn't it time? Isn't it time that you chose to be free? Isn't it time that you chose to let go of the things that held you back? Isn't it time that you decided that, you know what, I'm not just going to keep talking about the stuff that I want in my life. I'm actually going to, set myself free so I can create this stuff. What do I mean? I don't know. Today or yesterday, I don't know. I woke up this morning after I did all my things and I came onto Facebook. I had a look and saw some of the comments that people had left me. And one of the comments somebody had left me was about, being rich isn't everything. I'm sorry, but anybody that says that, generally it's because they're poor. I'm sorry. Maybe that's a generalization. But I always think when somebody says that, it's like, no, honey, this is what are you thinking? Because you know what? Because I'm talking about, I'm doing this brain training program, this whole retrain your brain thing, and get your brain into the right kind of place so that you're creating the wealth that you want, so you're doing the work that you're here on the planet to do. Now, this person had written this whole post, but the only thing this person had seen was about the money, was about the being rich and this and that and the other. And I just think that that's such a conditioned response, okay? It's such a conditioned response. So when I talk about, isn't it time to break free? For you, what is your conditioned response to money? Why don't you have as much of it as you want? And if you do you actually? Chances are you don't, okay? Most people on the planet don't have as much money as they want, but then they say things like, being rich isn't everything. Usually the only people that say that kind of thing are people who are struggling financially, basically, or are just enough financially. And somebody else said on the page as well, something along the lines of, being rich in money will destroy people. And I just think that is such crazy thinking. For one, richness, being rich, it's about more than just money. I know it is about more than just money. So when I've written a whole post about more than just money, and the only thing that somebody points out is money, it tells me that they are thinking about money, not me. So basically, but then at the same time, isn't it time to break free of these ways of thinking, these things that hold you back from going full out after every single thing that you desire? Because these ideas you have inside of you are keeping you in the same place, doing the same stuff all the time. Is this life exactly what you want of it? Is it what you want of it, or do you want more? And if you do want more, isn't it time that you did break free instead of just continuing to play the same stuff to yourself? I'm just sharing this on my page over here. I'm just going to talk a little bit here because, hey, thanks for the thumbs up. I'm just going to talk. This is the Church of RNK. Yes is amen. Absolutely acceptable. Do share this thing as well. That would be pretty dang amazing. You know that I always have something amazing to share with you guys. So share it with the people in your world because some other people need to hear what I have to say here. But okay, right now I'm talking about money specifically, but then I'm going to be talking about other areas of your life, because the truth of the matter is that for me, what I want, when I talk about freedom for you guys, I'm talking about freedom in all areas of your life. And you know what our affirmation for today is? I choose to be free. We've had this one before. I choose to be free. I choose to be free. I choose to be free. Okay, at least I think we've had it before. Maybe it's just the same tune, but it's different words. I don't know. But ultimately, I want you to choose to be free. Free from the old ways of thinking. Free from being worried about how much money no, it's not that I want you to make as much money as possible. So no, I want you to be free from thinking money is a bad thing. I want you to be free to allow yourself to go after whatever amount of money it is that you desire. I want you to be free enough to go after being completely who you are on the planet, rather than having a front that you put in front of people and then the other side of you that is the hidden part that you don't think anybody wants to see. I had a client today who put out an awesome post. Okay, yes, the headline and whatever I thought needed a little bit of a change. But apart from that, it was an awesome post, but she'd been vulnerable, okay? She'd been very vulnerable. And I know what that's like. It's called, I think Brené Brown calls it a vulnerability hangover. You put something out there and then you think, oh my gosh, what have I done? Basically, I don't think everybody in the world needs to know this part about me. And I've done that so many times now that you start to get a little bit used to it. It's like yesterday I did a live stream and my whole singing and everything was going completely out of kilter. And there was a part of me tempted, oh so tempted to just delete it as soon as I was done with it. In fact, I was tempted to just stop in the middle and switch it off and delete it because people will forget. I don't need to have this out there. And I don't need to have it out there, but this is the truth. We're human. This whole trying to be appear to be some kind of perfect thing, that is bondage. Okay? That is bondage and it keeps you from the life. Hello, Fatima. Lovely to have you on here. And it keeps you away from the life that you desire. Now, okay, I come from Nigeria, as well as England and who knows where I'm from really. But I know that it's not the done thing to appear as vulnerable. No, it's not the done thing. You're supposed to always appear as if you have it all together. You're supposed to always look rich. You're supposed to always this and that and the other, because if not, then people look down on you. At least that's the perception you get. And so it keeps you in bondage. It keeps you in bondage. You can't completely own who you truly are. You can't completely... so you keep lying about every aspect of your life. You keep lying, and that is what you're doing. You're lying to everybody around you. And so because you're lying to everybody around you, you do not feel loved, okay? Because nobody knows you. Nobody knows you at all. Nobody sees the real you. All they see is this facade that you're putting in front of them, okay? And that keeps you in bondage. That keeps you in incredible bondage. There you are, somebody with big ideas about how you want to impact the world and change lives and create wealth for you and your family, but you can't even be yourself. You can't even be yourself because you're worried about what people will think of you. You're worried about whether you're going to leave the little box that people have placed you in. And it's like, come on, affirm with me. I choose to be free. 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 It's like you almost have to yell it out here. I choose to be free. Free from the need to be something other than who I am. So the heck what if I'm not perfect? Who is? Who the heck is? I put a post up yesterday. I shared it, something about don't judge me until you are perfect or something. And it's the truth. Who is perfect? Who has the right to judge you? Who has the right to judge you? Who? And you know what? And even if they did, you give it energy by accepting their judgment, okay? By pretending to be something other than who you are because you're trying to get a judgment from them, or you're trying to get approval from people. And then the whole time your life is on hold because you are desperately trying to get people to like you, thinking that is how you're going to grow your business, thinking that is the only way you can move forward. You're saying things like, because it's the norm for people to say silly things in my mind, like, being rich isn't everything. And that's when they're talking about, it's like, of course it is. Being rich is everything. Being rich, and I don't mean just in money, okay? And if you heard that I just meant just in money, it is again because you are stuck in a particular track and you need to be free. Being rich is everything. I want to be rich in relationships. I want to be rich in time. I want to be rich in money. I want to be rich in health. I want to be rich in every area of my life. I want to be rich. And I think you should be rich as well, for goodness sake. Why would you seek not to be rich? So yes, being rich is everything. Okay, and if you heard just that sentence, you won't even know what I mean. So you better go back to the beginning. And then people say this stuff, and it's like you are condemning yourself to poverty. Why would you do that? Why would you deliberately condemn yourself to poverty, telling yourself that you think that makes you a good person because you're scared of money? Are you kidding me? Money is an inanimate object. Somebody put it on here. Somebody put it on my Facebook or something about, money destroys people. Poverty destroys people, honey. Poverty destroys people. And it's like, are you kidding me? Why do you buy into the nonsense? Some day when you were a child, you were maybe walking around with your parents and they had something to say about some rich person in your village or your who knows where, basically, and you still to this day never questioned what they said. You just accepted it as the truth, and that is bondage. Bondage to an idea that does not allow you to live to the fullness of your potential. Bondage to the past story that you need to shed. Honey, it is time to retrain your brain. If you have not joined the brain training program the brain training bootcamp for deliberate millionaires, you need to join it, because the same track, you keep playing the same story over and over and over to yourself, and it's keeping you in bondage, okay? It's keeping you in bondage, and I am here. My life's work is to liberate you. Liberate you. Basically, first and foremost, I've liberated myself, and I continue to do the work to continually, anytime I see any kind of blockage or nonsense inside of me, I continually face up to it. I choose to remove all facades. I get more and more vulnerable with how I show myself up on the planet, because I refuse to be anything other than who I am created to be. And I want the same for you, that there isn't some kind of hidden, this is me when I'm in my private place, and then this is me, the leader who does all this other stuff over here and tries to be perfect. You are not perfect. I am not perfect. Nobody is perfect. You don't need to be perfect to succeed. You need to be you to succeed. You could go through your whole life, you could even make millions being somebody other than who you are, and you will still feel unhappy. Okay, we want to be successful, but we're too scared to move. Absolutely, Fatima. Yes, and that was me for a very, very long time. So I understand what that means, to be scared to move forward. And yet, we have to get over the fear. You have to retrain your brain, because the fear is it's a learned response. Okay, you've learned to act in fear. Maybe you tried to do something once upon a time, and then somebody somewhere shot you down, or something somehow, or you saw somebody else trying to go for what they wanted, and they made a mistake and they lost everything, and that was it. They just kind of died a sad, lonely life because they gave up. Okay, I wish I could tell you that you'll never make a mistake. I wish I could tell all of you that you never make a mistake. Freedom does come with responsibility, and it can be pretty dang scary, because then for you to be truly free, you have to own all the consequences of all of your choices. And so for some of us, and you know what, even for me for a while there, I didn't want to own all the consequences of my choices. I would rather be able to blame somebody else for if I didn't get where I wanted to go, okay? I would want to be able to say, well, it was because this happened, or it's because that person did this, or it's because my mom didn't love me, or it's because my dad didn't care for me, or it's because this and the other. And at some point, if we are going to grow up and become the successful people that we're born to be, we have to be able, one, to take full responsibility for our freedom and the consequences of our choices. And we also have to choose not to be scared any longer, to retrain our brains to decide to walk in boldness and courage and confidence. And it is a learned response. There is nothing that I'm doing that anybody else that you're looking at with admiration is doing that you yourself cannot do. And I'm not just talking to Fatima here, I'm talking to everybody listening in. You need to be free. Isn't it time you chose to be free? Isn't it time you chose to be free? To break free from the things that hold you back. Some of you are so stifled in your sexuality. It's incredible. Incredible. The last 2 days or so, some of my old posts about sex and all of that stuff have come out, basically, and I've had people responding to them, and that's really cool. But I know for a lot of people, they might have read it because they're curious, but then they're too scared to actually admit that they're having issues in this area. They try to pretend that everything is perfect. Oh, no, Rosemary, we're not supposed to talk about that stuff. And I get that, yeah, maybe not like me, you're not going to be talking about it in the way that I do, but honey, you need to be talking to somebody, because you need freedom in your sexuality as well, okay? You need freedom to be able to be who you are with your partner or with yourself, for goodness sake. You like pornography, and yeah, it can become a distraction. It can become something, especially when it's hidden, it can become a thing that really binds you up. And yet it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. If you were free to completely own who you are, instead of living to rules and regulations that you don't even completely agree with, okay? But you haven't questioned them in so long because somebody somewhere told you how you were supposed to think, and you haven't thought to yourself, actually, what is the problem with this? Really? What is the problem with this? Why is there a problem? Huh? Why is there a problem? Really, I want you to actually ask yourself that question. Why is there a problem with this? Okay. Now, for some of you, you will come up with a religious reason and all of this, but I want you to even go deeper than that. Okay. I want you to go deeper than that. I don't want you to just give me the what's it called? The smooth answer as though that means anything. It doesn't mean anything if you've not thought it through. If you have thought through your responses to your sexuality, to pornography, to all of that stuff, and you've come to a conclusion, then that's a different thing from some off the cuff, somebody told you once upon a time what you're supposed to think, and you're still thinking those thoughts, and in the meantime your own sexuality therefore is stifled. And guess what? When your sexuality is stifled, your creativity is stifled. And guess what? When your creativity is stifled, you cannot come up with the ideas you need to come up with to grow your business. You will not show up in the workplace or in the marketplace as a charismatic leader. You will be stifled. That is just the truth of it. If you are born leader, you are highly sexual, and whilst you are trying to dampen these areas in your life, you are not able to show up as the powerful force of nature you are created to be. And that may be a difficult something for you guys to hear, but it is necessary, because if I don't tell you, who will tell you? Basically, who will tell you? And I'm saying, is it not time to break free? Affirm with me again. I choose to be free. 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 And I want you to be free in all areas of your life. It is a choice, whether you're going to live in bondage, whether you're going to live in bondage to old ideas, to your past, to the way you've always been, thinking that this is the way you always have to be. No, you don't. You can retrain yourself. You are a creature. You're a creature that was created to continue to be creative. Okay, you don't have to be doing the same stuff you've always done. You can you have all this frontal lobe stuff. I'm not even going to try and explain science to you because I don't completely get it, but I do know, however, that even from a very practical point of view, your frontal lobe, it is flexible enough to grow new cells, basically, if you choose to put new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of acting within it. Okay, so you are very flexible. You literally are very flexible. So who you are today doesn't need to be who you are tomorrow. You get to choose. Okay, I was just saying this to the Deliberate Millionaires actually about getting to choose who you be. And yet sometimes people keep continually choosing bondage because that is all they've known, and nobody wants to take the time to really think through, is this really what I believe? Is this really what I want my life to be about? Do I really want to get to the end of my life feeling resentful because I laid down all of my dreams for somebody else's agenda over and over again because I thought that that was the only way to be loved, or that was the only way for me to show love? But actually, I didn't feel love. I didn't feel love when I was laying down all of that stuff. This is the stuff that people are thinking about on their deathbed. All the things they did not do because they were continually living to the agenda of other people in their lives. Continually believing the rules and regulations that other people had laid out for them. I almost sometimes feel as if it's I was reading a book, actually. I'm reading a book by James Altucher. I quite like his writing some of the time. Sometimes I think it's slightly weird. But he was talking about how he was sitting on a plane with somebody whose job literally is to calm the masses, is to get everybody to think the same and just kind of fit into their little boxes and not really think for themselves. And I think about TV doing that. Sometimes social media does that. And there's so many ways. You eat too much, you drink too much, you go crazy with the pornography instead of, taming it. There's so many different ways to stifle you. And you see it as entertainment. You see it as the normal way to do life. And yet, all of this is designed by someone almost to keep you down. It's like, I see sometimes my children wanting to watch more TV, and it's like, no. There's a limit to how much TV you're going to be watching all the time, frankly. Because that is somebody else's imagination. Somebody sat down without the TV on, came up with imaginative things to keep everybody else down. I admire people's imagination. I still quite like to watch certain things on TV, no doubt. However, I sometimes think it is used to train people to submissiveness. It's used to train people into passivity, because then you don't have to think. You don't have to use your own imagination. Somebody just gives you pictures and that's it. Somebody just makes you give. And it's like, as I was saying, some person, their job literally is to make sure that the masses, that's, everybody, is calm and just kind of fits into their place, goes to their work, does what they're supposed to do. Don't overthink anything. And if you start thinking too hard, we'll give you another TV program to watch, or some new fancy foods that you can just you get fat to, basically, or something. And it's like, if you want to be free, you're going to have to break free of what is normal to the most people. Okay? It's not always the easiest thing to do at all, because you are tempted. You are looking around you at people who are numb. And most people are numb. Okay, I lived very passively for a very long time, and I thought it was normal. Okay, so there are people around you that you will wake up one morning and you're saying, I want to live a life of impact and income and all of this stuff and purpose. And they're thinking, oh, chill out. You have a good job, don't you? Yeah, your business is doing okay. Why do you care about that stuff? Let's go out for a drink. And that's it. And if you keep pursuing the way you want to go, you might find yourself alone, because people don't want to have to think. And then you going after every single thing that you desire is making them think. And they don't want to think. Frankly. And it's like, it gets hard. You start to feel like the odd one out, like the crazy one, when you're not the crazy one. Everybody else around you is slightly crazy. But because it's so normal, nobody cares. That is not freedom. That is bondage. That is bondage. I don't know who says religion is sometimes the panacea for the masses, and sometimes that is true as well. Because sometimes people just kind of believe stuff that somebody told them with no questioning. No questioning. It's like, really? You think truth is going to so easily be dismissed if you question it? Of course it's not. Truth stands up to scrutiny. It stands up to scrutiny. You can question whatever you question. What is, whether you like it or not. And if you don't feel able to question this stuff, and I know I'm going around in different places here, but I'm just trying to get your mind to think. I want you to wake up, because some of you listen to me because you're hungry for something more. But this is it. You're surrounded by norms, okay? You're surrounded by people who don't want you to think. You're surrounded by people who want you to keep doing what they want you to keep doing. Hello, Priscilla. Lovely to have you here. And thank you very much for a compliment on my hair. I quite like it too. It's like, but then if you want to be free, honeys, one, you're going to have to retrain your brain. Again, join me for the brain training. Today, you're getting the day one discount for the next few hours before I go in and change everything. And I will change everything, not change everything, but I will go in and complete the page, make it look pretty, make it look beautiful, make sure there's all the stuff on there. But literally, I'm going to be taking you guys through an 8-week brain training program. This is just 5-10 minutes a day, literally. And you're journaling first thing in the morning. We're just going to get you to think differently. Because, honeys, if you're going to be free, if you're going to be free to create the wealth you desire and the lifestyle that you desire, rather than one that you feel you have to accept because that's what everybody around you is doing, rather than one where it's like you kind of are successful but it doesn't feel good. No, I want you to have a life that you wake up to feeling great, not feeling like I have to just drown out the fact that I have to be at that workplace. It's like I was on the tram today. I hardly ever use public transport, but when I do, I sometimes listen to people talking. They're coming back from work and they're bored. They are bored, but that's it. That they have accepted that is what they're supposed to do for the rest of their life. And these are people that are going to get to the end so numb. Some of them are so numb they're just going to die and not actually think about it, having taken all their music, all their purpose into the grave with them. But for some people, it's going to be a source of regret. They're going to look back and think, why did I just talk about changing things? Why didn't I actually take any steps to change things? And I'm asking you the same question. Are you a talker? Because I used to be a talker. I talked about all the stuff that I was going to do, but I was too comfortable in my cushy pharmacist job to actually do anything about it until I hit rock bottom, basically, and reality came and whacked me upside the head, basically. Reality came and found me pregnant with my 7 months pregnant, and realized I actually am a lot broker than I thought, because once I saw working, the money stopped coming. Basically, and I've been working, 60, 80 hours to kind of keep everything going. But then I'm having children and I'm thinking, I don't want to work 60, 80 hours for the rest of my life. No, I don't. I want to be with my kids. I want to see them grow. And I can't do that whilst doing this job. And so, yeah, reality came and hit me upside the head. This life that you've created, it isn't all that. Okay? And so then, yes, after 4 years of depression, I finally found a different way. So 4 years of depression, realized still broke. So yeah, it's indeed, we feel like living dead. Yeah, sometimes people do, but then people don't do anything. I felt like a living dead person, but I didn't do anything. And in fact, then I did become a living dead person because I got depressed and I felt completely blank and empty inside. And that was it for 4 years until I finally realized that this whole bury my head in the sand thing ain't working because I still broke, basically. And I'm going to either have to go back to work full time or I'm going to have to find another way. I found another way. I looked my children in the eyes and I thought, you know what? I am not allowing somebody else to spend more time with my kids than I do. That's just not happening. So therefore, I have to find another way to create an income, and I freaking did. Okay? I worked my socks off harder than I've ever worked before. And you know what? Even to this day, I work harder than I've ever worked before. But right now, thank the Lord, it doesn't feel like work. But I know that if people look at my life, I sometimes see people actually, or they ask questions about the work that I'm doing. And I can see kind of the pity in their eyes. And the truth is, I pity them because they are trapped telling themselves that, oh, you know, at least I get work-life balance. What the heck does that even mean? Frankly, it means that you have just kind of sold your soul to somebody else's agenda, ultimately. But they gave you work-life balance. So now I got work-life balance. What nonsense. If you live a life, I'm sorry, I'm just going to be blunt. If you're living a life where, frankly, you have to separate out work from your life, you don't like it, okay? Because I like my life. I don't need to do that kind of nonsense. I don't mind how much time I spend on my work because I love my work. My children are part of it. Yesterday they were doing images for me. Some of the images on my page right now are done by my kids, and it's like, cool, I give them pocket money for that. And I love that. I love the fact that they can come and be part of it. I love the fact that my husband is home around me all the time. I love the fact that I just love the freedom around this life that I've created. And it was created out of hard blood and tears, man. I know, and that's the part people are trying to circumvent. They don't want the hard blood and tears, but instead you're going to walk 40 years for somebody else's agenda and call that freedom? You kidding me? I'll take my life any day. But then at the same time, a few years ago, I was one of the norms. I was one of the norms, man. Talking a good game about all the stuff I was going to do one day soon. No, living dead. Just like Fatima says here, I was a living dead person. But then I made a decision to turn things around. I started to actually listen to the voice of spirit within me. He'd been calling for a while, man. But I hadn't been hearing because I was scared. Just like a lot of people, scared to death of answering the call on your own life. And yet you want it. You do want it. You just feel so blocked up, uncertain, unsure. Everybody around you is living a certain way. How the heck dare you think that you can have a different path? And yet you can. Guys, yes is amen. This is the Church of RNK. I want to know if I'm speaking into the heart of any one of you here. Affirm with me again. I choose to be free. 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 And again, I choose to be free. 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 Yes, no longer numb. No longer passively just kind of living to everybody else's agenda around you. No longer just listening to the rules that some religion, some government, some who knows what has told you about. Instead of questioning for yourself, what works for me? What is my life supposed to be about? Do I actually believe some of the stuff that these people are telling me? Or am I ready to actually find what is true for me? Because that could turn your whole life upside down. Instead of getting scared about making more money because you're scared that what people will think you're greedy, who the heck cares what people think of you? Most people are broke or even the successful ones. You know, I was a pharmacist. I was broke. I was broke, man. You increase the amount of money you're making, you somehow increase your expenses as well. It's like the proportion stays the same. You just have more money to play with, except you don't, because it's still going to pay in all kinds of things. Then there's more demand on you and you don't know how to say no. So you keep giving stuff out to people without questioning whether this is actually what you want to do with your life. I did all of this stuff, man. And that is why I can speak to you with confidence, knowing, honey, that path, it doesn't take you anywhere good. You want a life that feels good, a life where you know you're on purpose, a life where you know that you are doing the work that you're born to do. Then, honey, it's going to take you making some seriously hard decisions at times. But then when you cross over to the other side, oh, it's so much easier. It's so much easier, but yes, at the same time, yeah, there is still the struggle. I'm always wanting to up level. I'm always wanting to go to the next level for me. Why? Because I am created in the image of God, man. I always want more because I'm not there yet. Of course I'm not. Sometimes people want you to feel as though that desire for more is a bad thing. Are you kidding me? Of course it's not a bad thing. Yes, I am happy now, but it doesn't mean that I'm happy just to stay here forever. When I am created in the image of God, of course I want more. Are you free enough to go after more? Are you telling yourself, oh, that's not contentment. Oh, that's not how to be happy. That is nonsense. That is how people keep you in your place. The place that they have decided for you. Come on. It's time to wake up. It's time to become the warrior, the leader, the champion you know you are born to be. It is time to start doing the work that you are here to do on this planet. It is time for you to start serving the people that you're here to serve. It is time for you to recognize that your fulfillment, your happiness is going to come from you living a purpose-driven, amazing life. But you have to start thinking. You have to start retraining your brain, because the fear, the doubt, the self-doubt, all of that stuff, it is literally a choice that you have made to keep listening to some nonsense that some person said sometime, who knows when, instead of thinking for yourself, what do I choose to believe right now? And therefore, how do I choose to live going forward? But you know what? Right now is a great time to begin. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter how much time has gone. You can start to turn the tides of your life. You can literally start to break free, pardon me, right now, and choose to go after the things that you were dreaming about when you were a child. Because most people, it's like the life I'm living now is the stuff that I knew that I needed to be doing when I was a child, but then I had to go through some kind of crazy journey to finally go back to being childlike. It's like, if we could just somehow not have to go through that crazy journey and just recognize that, you know what? You always knew what you were here to do. You just got distracted by the trials and tribulations of life. You allowed that to define you instead of you choosing who you be and then defining your life around who you are. The facade you put on to kind of cope with the people in your life. It's time to strip off, man. Become the leader, the person you are born to be. It's like become nothing so that you are flexible enough to step into whatever role you want to in any given moment. Be that vulnerable leader. You have nothing to hide. Nothing to hide. People can see you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody's perfect. Everybody tries to pretend they are, but nobody's perfect. Social media makes people look good. It's like, nobody's perfect. You don't need to hide from somebody else who is hiding from you. Seriously. It's time to break free. To go after the income, the impact that you desire. To go after the full life that you want. To stop stifling yourself and giving yourself reasons why you cannot because some person in your life doesn't want it for you. Enough! It is time for you to own who you are here to be. To just strip off! Strip off the layers, man. Anyway, I choose to be free. 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 Guys, this is my invitation to you. In order for you to step into the fullness of your life, you need to retrain that brain. Because you trained it for fear, for doubt, for facades, for nonsense. And I'm saying to you right now, you need to retrain that brain, and you have a few more hours to get the day one discount of the brain training for the Deliberate Millionaires. I call y'all Deliberate Millionaires, okay? I don't even care if you want to be a millionaire or not. It doesn't matter. That's not the point here. The point here is that you start to live your life deliberately rather than passively, just allowing whatever to happen. Okay, some of you will finally start living life deliberately and you become a millionaire and you wouldn't even quite know how you got there because you'll suddenly start to do things actively. You suddenly start to do the things that you've always wanted to do. You start to serve the people in the way you've always wanted to serve. Next thing you know, the money is pouring in. Because the more people you serve, the more money you make. And once you take off the limits because you start to think and act deliberately, you suddenly start to create things you didn't even know you were capable of. Seriously. Join Brain Training for Deliberate Millionaires. Because in an 8-week period, 5 days on, 2 days off, we're starting on Monday, you will get from me every freaking day, just a 5 to 10 kind of meditation, kind of affirmation, kind of something to get your brain. I don't even know what to call it, truth be told, but it will be straight out of my journaling that morning, or well, it depends on when I've done it. It will be straight out of what I've connected with Spirit to hear for you guys, okay? And then you will start to think around what is being said to you. You will come up with your own way, and your brain, as you're thinking through this stuff, 5-10 minutes a day, you will literally start to retrain your brain to think for wealth, for abundance, for success in every freaking area of your life, okay? Because you are deliberately taking the time to create change. And I will give you, I think it's about 40 different ways to think in that 8-week period, you and I. And I know it's 8 weeks. Some of you will be thinking, oh, but it's 8 weeks, man. It's really long. Or is it just me that thinks that you guys were thinking that? I don't know. I don't care, because I just know that you've been, what, 30, 40, 50, 60 years thinking the same way you've been thinking, and you think you're going to change in 3 seconds. How is that working out for you? How has it been working out for you? Because people say this and do this silly things where it's like, oh, but that's going to take too long. And it's like, yeah, what else are you going to be doing? What else are you going to be doing? The same stuff you've been doing already? Are you kidding me? Go right now to rosemarynoninight.com/brain training and join in. Today you get the day one discount. It's so accessible. It's incredible. You will get a bonus 2 months in the Deliberate Millionaire as well. Okay. So go and join in. So you get the action and the clarity stuff. So you start to create the success that you are born to create. I just ask you for 5-10 minutes of your time every morning, preferably, but some of you might be night owls. I don't know. I don't know how people do that thing. I think what you want to do is start the day by defining what your day is going to be like. So all I ask is for 5 to 10 minutes of your time to retrain your brain, to recalibrate the crazy places so that you are walking in freedom. Freedom to create whatever the heck you want to create, okay? Don't be bound by old rules and regulations and conditioning about money or how healthy you're allowed to be or whether you're supposed to get really old and decrepit just as you're getting older in age. Is that a truth, or is that just what the norms do? And so then you just go along with it. Why? I've worked with clients in their 60s and they're more alive now than they were in their 20s. Why? Because of the way they have trained their brain. And I want that freedom definitely for 334,000 people, but you specifically are one of those people. So come on, join me for Brain Training for Deliberate Millionaires. We start on Monday. Go right now, get the day one discount before I change the page around, before I make it look the way I want it to look, say what I wanted to say, then the price goes up. Because this stuff is too valuable to give it to people who do not want to take action, who do not want to move. So be a fast action taker. Go and get the day one discount right now at rosemarynoninight.com/brain training. Go right now and get it. It's rosemarynoninight.com/brain training. I choose to be free. 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 And on that note, my honeys, I'm going to leave you. It is, in fact, time to fight for, honey, fight for, and deliberately design the life you are born to live because you want to, because you want to, because you want to, okay? Because you do want to, okay? Let's not just keep it in the want to. Let's now actually move into it. You ready? RootsMadeOnIgnite.com/brain training. Let's retrain your brain. Let's get you creating the life you desire. You ready? Until the next time, much love, my honeys. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for hanging out with me. Share this. There's a share button somewhere. Share it to your people because there are some people that need to hear it. Let's get the message out. Let's get the message out of freedom. Freedom from all the craziness that has held you back to date. Step into the life that you're born to live. Until the next time, much love, guys. Bye.